So you guys are going to create a futuristic city from scratch. Remember, you need to choose images that will work for you. I am going to be similar to the tutorial that is the speed tutorial you guys selected, and do kind of a water city because that to me seems futuristic. So you could do a floating city. You could do whatever you want. I really don't care. I want it to be cool, and I want it to look like it's real. Just like your example looks like a picture taken from the future and brought back. So you need to start out with a base image. This is my base image. I downloaded it from the AEA1 website, the Clip Art Schools website. It's a great resource for things like this. So I started out with this image, and I downloaded some more. What you need to hand in is your final image, and you will need to also give me a folder that you'll upload to Google Docs and share with me with all of the images that you used also, so I can see the images you used as well. So I have on my desktop, I have made a folder that says future. So I am going to start with this, and now I'm going to place linked, or you can place embedded. I prefer to place linked because it seems to not be such a large file. And then if I go in to anything in the future folder and change the actual file, it automatically changes on here, which is a good and a bad thing. So I have these buildings, and I have this mountain, and I have this bridge, and I have this. But this image really isn't going to work because it is an image taken at dusk or sunrise. It looks like dusk to me. And my picture is not taken at dusk, and I'm not going to edit it. So I'm going to open up my mountains first, and I'm going to place that in, and it's probably going to be a pretty large file. I don't need it that big. I need it pretty small. And it's probably going to go right over here on this horizon. I'm going to match up this horizon line. I'm going to hit enter. And in order to, I got to erase things. I want to keep the mountain, I want to get rid of the sky, I want to get rid of the water, but then I want a reflection as well, probably. So I'm going to go into my layers, and I'm going to create a layer mask, because layer masks are the only way to go. And it's the only way you can do things when you have placed files. So I want to select the mountain, and I want to get rid of everything else. So there's lots of ways you can do it. We all know how to select. This goes back to the very first thing that you guys did in class. You can use your magnetic lasso tool. You can use your, I personally like the quick selection tool. So that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to go in here, and actually, I'm just going to go like that. Boom. Got that. It's a little jagged, so actually I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to go up to select. I'm going to modify, and I'm going to go to smooth, and I'm going to do 5 pixels. And now I'm going to do my layer mask. Boom. Layer mask, much smoother. Do I want it that big? Probably not. Now here's the kicker. I want it to look like it's off in the distance more and a little bit more hazy. So I got to figure out how to do that. So I'm going to need to do a layer adjustment. You can do it here with brightness contrast. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I can just fill the layer and make it hazy. So that's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to go like this. Oops, Control-Z. I'm going to create a new layer, which I'm going to fill white. Oh gosh, it's gone. And then I am going to tone that down. And I am going to just make it look like it's off in the distance. That was an easy way. I can also create a adjustment. I could do a brightness contrast adjustment, toning that down, and I can link it to a layer. There's a lot of different things that you can do. The thing is, whatever works for you. So I have that. Now I'm going to place another file. Put my bridge in there. show you something real quick. Now this one's going to be a lot trickier because it's got all these little suspension things in it to edit. So I am going to, oops, polygon lasso tool. This is pretty straight. I'm just going to go like this to begin with. And it's really raining outside as I create this tutorial. It's downpouring actually. Now this doesn't go all the way across, and I do want it to go all the way across. So I'm going to Command J, and I'm going to go up to Edit, and I'm going to go to Transform, and I'm going to flip it horizontally, and I'm going to bring it across here. So now I have two of them. All right. That doesn't look right. So now what I want to do is I'm actually going to get rid of some stuff on here. And this may or may not work. I don't really know. I'm going to brush right on here and make sure that my opacity is at 100%. I'm going to do a hard edge brush. And I don't need it that huge. And I just want it to be floating across here. Oops, wrong way. If I click once and I hold shift and I click again, it does a straight line for me. So I have that. Go to this layer. I probably could have just combined those layers and then that would have been on one. So there's that. I gotta figure out how to get my mountain around through that, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that, which is going to be completely, utterly, and totally insane. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna clean up all of that. But what you're gonna just keep doing is adding things like that. What if you want to make that mountain look like it is a reflection? If I command click on my layer, I have this selected, so I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to fill it black, and then I'm going to go to deselect, I'm going to go up to edit, transform, and then I'm going to flip that one vertical, and I'm going to pull it down. And I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to go to multiply. Screen, probably not working. You might want to be able to see that. You can also feather that edge a little bit. Not 50 pixels, maybe like 15. So now my edge is feathered. So that way I have a nice soft edge to it. I'm going to free transform this just a little bit. Pull this up because I don't want any of that light showing. So now I have that reflection. From there, it's probably not going to be quite that big. So I am going to make it smaller. And maybe even a little less filled. So that's how you do like shadows and reflections, which are super important to make things look realistic, especially like on the edge of things. I use brushes quite a bit. If I'm adding things in, there's There's tons of things that you can do, but you just need to pay very close, meticulous attention to detail. For example, this is not working for me, so I either have to go in and figure out how to get rid of all those little lines in there, or I have to scrap the whole thing, because this just doesn't look right. And doing like multiply and stuff on the layers isn't going to work really either, just because it's not soft light. No, it doesn't work. Difference, not going to work. You know, there's lots of different things. Difference would work on my shadow though. So you got to really think about the objects that you choose. So I'm just going to hide my suspension bridge, even though it was kind of cool. Place some other things. This futuristic floating city is going to be on here. Maybe I'll make it set on an island of grass somewhere. It's going to be kind of off over here. It's pretty big. I don't know if in perspective that would probably be the right size. So I got to figure out how to get rid of these trees. I'm probably going to clone some things out of that. Although there's ships in here, which will make it a little hard to clone. Maybe I'll get rid of all of that, but then it's going to look like it's sitting on a... It's not sitting right. So you got to really think about what you want to do. I'll probably just clone these buildings back in is what I'll do. With my clone tool, I can clone. Usually you can't clone linked things, so you have to create a new layer and make sure that it says current and below and aligned, and now you can clone. So I can actually just take this and I option click here, and now I can clone these cities and this stuff out a little bit. And what I'll probably do is actually get rid of some of this. I like to use my polygonal lasso tool because I can use nice, crisp, straight lines to get rid of things. Double click, layer mask. Oops, I'm on my wrong layer. So now I can go in and I can hide that layer. I could go in and I can fix things, make it look floating, get rid of the sky. There's lots of things to do. So no minimum objects, just make it look good. And that's your tutorial for today.